Hey everybody, we are back with another podcast doing craft beer. Gavin has joined me again. This kind of came about kind of in a funny way, I guess. I went to the Wine Basket, which is a store in Vienna. Obviously sell wine, also sell craft beer. I went in there for the beer. At Gavin's recommendation, I bought an assorted 6-pack, and that's one of the reasons I went in there is because I can buy singles and taste test things, and I can put together a 6-pack. I think he might give you a little deal if you do that, like a small discount. And my thoughts were the holidays, and I kind of wanted some things that I could maybe take to a holiday function and kind of pass the beer around and do some taste testing. Then I found out you did the same thing, so here we are. We got together. You got a few, I got a few. I think they're going to be different. Mine end up being very similar, all the ones I got. I was going to bring more, but I got into a few of them, so I don't have that many left. But what I picked out, I'll tell you that, and then you can get into what you picked out. It's a Belhaven Black Scottish Stout Nitro, and I'm going to have you explain that here in a minute. But what prompted me is I love stouts. I've had a Belhaven's is a Scottish ale at a restaurant locally, and I liked it. So I kind of knew a little bit about the brewery and some of the stuff. I think I've had a couple of their beers. So they looked good to me, so I thought I'd try it out. If you want to go ahead and let me know what you brought here.
Yeah, this is the Guayabera from Cigar City. They're a Florida brewery. They just got distribution to West Virginia.
Okay.
Shortly following Ohio. I've actually never had this, but this is an American pale ale hopped with Citra. Mm-hmm. So I thought it would be a nice counterpoint to what we're doing here.
Which one do you think we should go after first?
We should probably hit the pale ale first.
All right.
Do the lighter side, even though it is a higher ABV.
So how long has it been in the area? Or the state, I guess?
I'm going to say like a week.
Oh, very recent.
Yeah, a week.
So this is something
weeks.
new on his shelf?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and he's, they sort of send their wider portfolio stuff, their basic lineup out first, and then, depending on the reception, then you start getting some of the limited release stuff. So this is, part of their regular release schedule.
So I could smell it from here. Definitely a little fruity.
Yeah. So an American Pale Ale is sort of an adaptation from the English Pale Ale. Mm-hmm. So, you think of IPAs, they're hops overpowering the malts. Right. A Pale Ale should have a balance of the two. You should be able to taste the malt. You should be able to taste the hops. So the American Pale Ale shifts away from the English Pale Ale in the sense that English Pale Ales are more earthy,
okay,
have an herbal hop. American Pale Ales, it's more towards citrus and pine.
Okay.
The most popular example is, of course, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. So that can kind of set up your expectations.
So when you say Citra, what kind of, I said fruity smell, what kind of things should we expect?
Citra hops are very tuned to oranges.
Okay.
So, think citrus in general, but it can give off a little bit of tropical, but mostly just straight up orange. Orange juice, that's nice.
Orange juice? You could almost, yeah. I get that.
Yeah, I get a lot of orange, like a little bit of orange pith.
Yeah.
Like the peel.
You could drink a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they're designed to be really easy drinking. There's a little bit of like a toasted caramel malt in there.
Yeah, this is it's pretty light. It's pretty easy to drink. A lot of times craft beers are nursing beers, know. There's a lot of good things going on, but this is very tasty, but you could sit and drink this.
Yeah, and that's really what the style is supposed to be. It's supposed to be easy, enjoyable. And it doesn't, what is it, 5.6%?
Yeah, something like that.
5.5. Yeah, but it doesn't, you're not tasting any alcohol as it should be. And it's just a nice, crisp fruity. There is a hint of pine in there, but it is. They advertise it as a Citra Pale Ale, so they're wanting the fruit to be the dominant.
Is this something
flavor.
that we're into the Thanksgiving coming up on Christmas season? Is this something that's just kind of a year round? Is it a summer type thing or
Year round? I mean, with things that have really bright citrus, those are usually towards summer. But pale ale's a year round thing. It doesn't. It's a pretty evergreen style. Because it also, I mean, food wise, it pairs with just about anything. I mean, you can eat anything, and you'd be hard pressed to find something this doesn't go well with.
right?
Yeah, that's good.
Do you know how many? Is that the only beer of that brewery he has?
No, he also has their Maduro Brown Ale.
Okay.
And their Highlight IPA.
Okay.
I think Highlight is their regular IPA. So I believe those are only the only three that he has right now.
Okay.
But they do. I mean, they have a Good Gourd Almighty pumpkin beer that
Okay.
they do. Some of their strongest stuff is their coffee beers.
Really?
Yeah, they do a really nice Cubano beer. They have an oatmeal cookie stout.
Cigar City. I like it. They picked a good name.
Yeah. Yep. Florida brewery finally made it up here.
Yeah, I could definitely see this as a beach, bar kind of, something you'd sit out and drink for sure.
Yeah. Good on the beach. Good at a restaurant. Good for just hanging out.
So how are we pronouncing this? Because it's not phonetically correct, I don't think.
Guayabera.
Guayabera starts with a G.
Yeah. It's I guess it's like a type of Latin shirt. Like
Okay.
4 pockets on it. I don't know.
Oh.
There's some controversy, I guess, as to the country of origin. But,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it says born in Tampa, Florida, so
Well, the beer, yeah. The shirt, I don't know.
it says drink fresh, do not age.
Yeah. You don't want to cellar any pale ales or anything where
Yeah, it says
the hop
traditional
character-
Latin, yeah.
Anything with a hop character where that's a prominent aspect of the beer, that's the most perishable
Sure.
quality.
So the store down there, this is not a paid advertisement. We just happen to shop
No.
there.
But he's a great guy, and it's a great store.
It is, and like I said, it's called the Wine Basket. They have a tremendous amount of wine. I don't know how, significantly more wine than beer, but they still have. That just tells you how much wine they have because they do have quite a variety of beer. And like I said, it's some stuff's just there's a few of them. Some are assembled in 6-packs, some in 4-packs, but you can pull that apart and buy one beer or do 3 beers or do an assorted 6-pack. I love that because when you go to some other stores that you can't do that in, you're like, you know what? Do I want to spend whatever it is, $10-$12
Yeah.
on a 4-pack or something that I may hate,
Yeah. If you don't know anything about the brewery, if you don't know anything about the style of beer that you're getting into, you don't know whether it's for you or not. So it's nice to be able to purchase single units of things.
Right, yeah. So, I'm sure he's gearing up for the holidays. I don't know, this next brew, I don't know if you would call it a winter beer. I kind of gravitate towards the stouts and the porters and things. It kind of makes me think of sweatpants and a hoodie and a cup of coffee is how I feel about some of these beers in the wintertime. Just kind of I don't want it's like comfort food, but it's a drink.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Well, stouts, it's a hearty style. It is definitely a winter thing, but it's popular enough that they're around all year. And I'm a person that definitely enjoys stouts 365.
There's no season for you.
Yeah, no. So we've got the Belhaven Black. They call it a Scottish Stout. I don't think that's a real thing, other than the fact that this is a Scottish brewery. I think what we can expect from this is going to be an Irish dry stout, which is going to be along the lines of a Guinness draft.
Now, have you had this before?
I have had this before.
Okay.
Yes. I've had it once, and I got it from the wine basket. But yeah, it's going to be dry. It's going to be roasty, a little bit of chocolate and coffee, but just like a dry roasted barley.
Now, tell me before you crack that. It says Nitro on top. What does that mean?
So this beer is not carbonated. It is
Okay.
nitrogenated. So there's a widget in the bottom, and when we open the can, it's going to activate that, and it's going to pump nitro up through the beer. And what nitro does is primarily it enhances mouthfeel. So it, well, depends on what you mean by enhance, but it's going to be silky smooth, ultra drinkable. It's just kind of going to slip right down. Nitro is sort of trendy right now, despite the fact that Guinness has been offering Nitro Stout forever. If you ask me, it doesn't really suit any other styles.
The
besides
Nitro
Stout.
Yeah.
It works in dry stouts, and that's about it.
So I'm not gonna lie, when I'm shopping in there and I kind of see some things that I like, as far as maybe I've heard of Belhaven, but if I've never heard of the brewery or the beer, I kind of make decisions on artwork. I don't know if that's weird or not, but this has a cool can. It's got some of that Black Castle kind of feel and some mountains, so I thought it was kind of cool. You want to crack that and see what happens here? Sure. So what do you need? You said the nitro will activate. What do you need to do when you open it? Let it sit?
Just not necessarily. I mean, maybe for a second, but it's going to happen instantaneously.
Okay, it's real quick.
Yeah, we're going to hear a pretty pronounced hiss.
Sure do.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a gremlin in there.
Right? All right.
So it's over.
Yeah, it's over. We're good. We're good to pour. It's going to be a little murky at first, and then it'll settle. You'll get that froth.
It looks like milk.
Yeah, and it's going to have the mouthfeel of cream, essentially.
That's pretty cool. It's like a science experiment. So when you pour it, you kind of want to let the head form and sit for a few seconds. Yeah,
and typically with nitro beers, you want to pour a little bit harder.
Okay.
A little more firmly than normal, just to distribute that around. It's less of an issue with things that have widgets, but there's a brewery called Left Hand that's actually figured out how to nitrogenate their beer without any sort of widget.
Left Hand, that's interesting.
And yeah, their Nitro Milk Stout is...
So I'm colorblind, but that looks pretty dark to me.
Dark. It's got some amber hues.
I was going to say, does it have like an amber kind of tint to it?
Yeah, like a scarlet to amber tint when the light hits it, but mostly it's an opaque black. Up top, there's just some tones of that at the bottom there. Aroma-wise...
This smells like coffee.
Smells like coffee. Smelling some like milk chocolate.
That's incredible.
And
I could drink this for breakfast.
And there's a little bit of fruity ester from the yeast.
Yeah, I get like chocolate coffee.
Those should be the predominant flavors, and that is right on the money. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Guinness. The draft, a lot of people love it, and more power to them.
It's super not what I expected as far as...
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a heavy... It's like 4%
Yeah.
It seems super light. It does feel like I'm drinking coffee, milk, chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, for anyone that's had Guinness, this is on the sweeter side, I'd say. I mean, it's still dry, but I get more of a pronounced milk chocolate, more of a smooth coffee. roast going on there.
We could do car bombs with this, right? Or no?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, if you want to get you can do car bombs with whatever you want. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, this kind of... I was thinking, I'd never had it before. I was thinking, oh, this is going to be one of those nursing kind of laid up on the couch kind of beers, but I don't think that's the case.
No, Irish Dry Stout is built to crush. I mean, they're
You could crush this.
low ABVs, and they're still stout
I wouldn't want to...
and
Yeah.
hearty, but they don't sit heavy.
No, it's really smooth, really good. The head stays on there.
Yeah, the head retention and lacing are pretty enduring on these.
So do you have, kind of going away from this, do you have things you like to get into in the holiday season, Christmas season, or? Well, before you start that, we just came through October. The pumpkin is crazy.
Oh yeah,
Everybody's got it. They've got multiple pumpkin beers.
yes.
Like, I'm not a pumpkin fan. I mean, I'm not even really a pumpkin pie. I'll eat it. But I didn't partake. The pumpkin spice, it's all right. But these breweries have gone crazy with pumpkin. So we might not be over that, but I'm past it. There's probably still plenty out there. But as we get into Thanksgiving and Christmas, are there things that you get into maybe this time of year, seasonal type things?
I sort of am on my own schedule. So the seasonal beer of the moment would be Christmas ale, which would be any range of ales from like brown ales to mild ales that have a wintry, Christmassy spice added to them. A very popular example would be the Great Lakes Christmas Ale.
Okay.
I haven't had... Well, actually, I did have one of those recently, now that I think of it. But it's not something that I usually go to.
I've never had a Christmas ale.
Trogue's Mad Elf is very popular.
Cool name.
Yeah. And it's good beer. But I sort of just drink whatever I want all year. I mean, the fall season is where I really stick to the seasonally appropriate things. 'Cause I'm a big fan of Oktoberfest, and I am firmly in the pumpkin camp.
Yeah, I'm sure, I kind of wish, there's so much out there, I really wish I loved it. I just don't.
Well, it's okay.
And maybe I will. Maybe I'll get old and my palate will change.
Suddenly develop a taste for pumpkin spice.
I mean, it happens, I imagine.
I like things now that I never thought I would.
With food, that happens, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's I just am more creative in the kitchen, or I'm willing to try things. I'm willing to fail is probably the big thing.
That's important.
Especially with cooking. Like, I've made some bad stuff. That's how I learn.
Yeah.
And some of the best stuff I make is a morph of multiple recipes and things like that. So things season things and put in things that you like.
Yeah.
I've learned that through cooking, and as I learn more about beer, I'll be able to make more educated guesses on things that I know I like, and I think we've done well today. This is something I could drink often. I like this. I like the beer. I could sit here and drink another one. I would really love that laying on the beach or something. That just seems like something that's nice and fruity like that.
And one thing that I like about it is that it is actually a pale ale. The IPA craze has gotten to the point where a lot of times American pale ales are just miniature IPAs. Mm-hmm. But that actually has a balance. I mean, you get a fruity hop presence, but there's not really any perceived bitterness. There's just enough to counteract the malt sweetness. So it's like right in the middle. So
it lists the IBUs on the can. Tell me what that means.
So that's International Bittering Units. It's the value of the IBU is a little dubious. Mm-hmm. For the longest time, it was sort of a competitive metric You know, when the IPA craze took off, it was all about, you know, how high are the IBUs in this beer? Oh, well, ours has 115. Oh, well, ours has, you know, 123. And so, and I believe,
which is bitter.
I could be wrong. Yeah, it could be, but the problem is that the IBUs do not necessarily represent the perception of bitterness in the beer. If I'm thinking
it's a scientific calculation, or is it a subjective type?
No, it's definitely a scientific calculation, but I believe it's measuring the alpha acids from the hops. I would have to look that up to.
So, what is there a scale, or is it kind of open ended?
It's just a numerical value.
So where does this one says 50? Where does that fall in that metric?
Mid range.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah, I didn't taste anything that I would call bitter.
Yeah, so the IBUs on, say, this, they don't even list them, I don't think, but we're probably talking like less than 20, something like that. But at the same time, so there's no hop aroma or anything in this, but there is hop bitterness in the sense that it's contributing a little bit of bitterness to offset the sweetness. But coffee is a little bit bitter. So this is mostly sweet, but it's kind of got a bitter, dry roast to it.
Yeah, I catch a little bit of that. You don't get the bitter coffee. I'm not a coffee snob, so I will put stuff in my coffee. That may be wrong. I don't know, but it's what I do.
I don't know, any way you enjoy a drink, I think is correct. But I mean, so this likely has so many more IBUs than this beer, but I would argue that it's not really that much more bitter.
No.
It's not sweet,
right,
like this one is, but it's not actively bitter. So, I don't know. I'm not sure why breweries continue to print that information on cans, except for people who are hop snobs, care about that thing. And yeah.
What is it like? I drink hoppy beers. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. You
I want to know how hoppy this beer is. Kind of like people.
But you could research that, I guess, more than.
I mean,
take you 5 seconds probably to research that.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, if it's listed on the website, they probably print it on the can too. But yeah,
right.
So more for consumer recognition than anything, I think.
So we've got the Belhaven Nitro Black Scottish Stout in it's how do you say that again?
Guayabera.
Guayabera Citrus Pale Ale, Cigar City Brewing. I don't know. It says Tampa. I assume it's in Tampa.
Yes.
Florida. This is a new beer to this market. Belhaven is not, but they have other things. This is good. We might have to try them out. Did you get other brews from this or no?
No, but you wouldn't have to twist my arm.
I might talk you into it.
Yeah.
So these are both available, or we bought these at the Wine Basket. It's in Vienna. If I had to route you in, I would say DeCarlo's Pizza in Vienna. It's kind of across from Fusion there.
Yeah.
There's a strip mall there next to it. It's down below behind. There's signage. You can't miss it once you go back in there. It's a nice size store. There's a lot of stuff in there. And like I said, you can buy singles.
Yeah. Look them up on Facebook. We've got a pretty active presence there, I think.
Showing probably some inventory and some different things. So
yeah.
All right. We're going to have to do this again very soon.
Absolutely.
I can make this a regular thing and find time in my schedule to drink a little beer in the morning anytime. So I appreciate you swinging by.
Yeah, absolutely.